Hey, I'm Markia. Want to hear something scary?
Makoto and I had just finished our long school day when we arrived at the train station. We weren't able to beat the rush, and the packed train took off without us. I checked my phone to see if there would be a later train we could take home. The service was spotty as the two of us stood on the empty train platform. A sudden chill ripped through the tunnels, and I noticed Makoto pull her coat close. It's not safe in Osaka after dark, Eiko. My neighbor said he saw an ondeo when he took a late train home, Makoto explained. When I asked her what an ondeo was, she said that it was a vengeful spirit that lurked in the space where they died. They were known for attacking others indiscriminately in the same way they were killed. I turned to Makoto to laugh along with what I thought was a joke, but her grim features froze my breath in my throat. The sky darkened as I stared at her, and a prickling sensation made me shiver. I checked my phone to see if the train schedule updated with the time on the last train. The estimated wait time was now listed as 10 minutes. Maybe your neighbor was just trying to scare you, I assured. That's when we heard in the distance a scraping noise to call out my doubt. Teke, Teke. We are not alone, Makoto insisted. On the edge of the platform, closest to the tunnel, I saw the tip of a metal hook be pulled behind a pillar. Could be just a custodian. Maybe we should ask them for help? Makoto grabbed my wrist and held me back. Shh, there's something I have to tell you. Another gust hit the tunnel, and we saw wisps of long hair whip around the pillar, revealing what looked like the figure of a woman slouched beside it. Where did she come from? I asked, ignoring Makoto. She did look strange, slouched that way with her hair covering her face. The station was a weird place to nap, I reasoned weakly to Makoto. Nervously, I hit refresh on the train schedule, but it still read 10 minutes. But we'd been waiting a few already. Makoto began to talk about the ondeo, but when we turned to look at the pillar again, there was no one there. Stop being foolish, I interrupted. Teke, Teke. The sound was closer, like someone was bouncing a metal rod on the pavement. Makoto backed up in fear. She pointed behind me. I whipped around. Something was scuttling towards us. It carried a long object behind it. My uncle said it carried a large blade, Makoto muttered. The object it carried hit the ground as if responding to the story with this ominous noise. Teke, Teke. The lights above us began to flicker, and we could see the figure now as it propped itself on the scythe it carried. Her hair was blown back by another gust of wind. It looked like a girl our age, but her body was decomposed. Makoto continued her story hurriedly. He said it was the ghost of a woman who died after being pushed on the train tracks years ago. The lights flickered and gave off an eerie crackle before they cut out completely and plunged everything into darkness. The wind picked up and howled as if an unseen train was rushing by. I held back a scream, and when the lights came back on, the figure was gone. Startled, I began to pull my friend up the stairs. I'm calling my parents to get us, Makoto pleaded. Please, Eiko. She was cut. Hang on, I said as I dialed my mom, but on the other end of the line, I heard the noise at my ear. Teke, Teke. We have to get out of here, I said, turning to Makoto. She looked like she was about to say something, but no words came out of her mouth, only blood. Her grip on my hand loosened and she fell, but before me, her legs still stood. My vision blurred as I saw her torso land and her face looked up at me from the ground. In a state of shock, I noticed that the blood began to frost over from the cold. Makoto still blinked as she choked. I barely let out a gasp when I heard it again. Teke, Teke. It was the ondeo, rising its scythe as it appeared next to my friend. I am the Teketeke, The very schoolgirl who was accosted as the last train left the station. I ran for help, but was pushed onto train tracks as the train took off. No one responded to my cries as my assailants got away. They just averted their eyes. The train sliced me in half, leaving my body in the severe cold that just froze me in an agonizing slow death. I grabbed a metal plate and hit the tracks over and over, ignored until I became an ondeo. With my scythe made of the very metal of the tracks I died on, destined to do unto others as was done unto me if they didn't share my story, it said, then pointed to my friend. But Makoto did. She just told me, I cried. You didn't let her finish. Because you did not listen, her fate was sealed. Now, it's up to you. Before disappearing in the glow of the approaching train's headlights, the ondeo warned me to pass this story on to others. If I didn't, I would end up just like her and Makoto. I was lucky to board the last train with my life, but it comes with a price. So I must apologize to you, my trusted friends. I don't mean to give you this burden, but I don't want to die. You must pass this story on to others close to you, those who will continue our shared cycle. Share it with friends, lovers, and family. They need to save you. They need to do the same as me and you. Don't doubt this. Our Teketeke will come for us all.